everyone. Today I got to sit down with Samantha Bird, who has a financial literacy program for kids. We talked all about her program, which is called Camp Cash. It's an interactive website for kids who want to learn about financial literacy. Parents can also learn alongside them. It's a great program. We talked about all different types of financial literacy, why it's important, and why it's important in today's world. I hope you guys enjoy it. First off, thank you so much for coming on and being willing to speak with us. We're very excited. I know David can't wait to watch it after we finish. So just if you could give us a little background about yourself and your mission and your social media content, we would love that.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm Sam. I'm a mom to three boys. I teach financial literacy. My background is honestly in so many different fields: real estate, insurance,
Great.
finance. And I kind of fell into this a little bit because I was never taught financial literacy growing up. It wasn't something that most of millennials, people my age and above,
Mm-hmm.
are
Mm-hmm.
taught in school. And so that meant that I started adulthood and life kind of behind the eight ball a little bit. Like I didn't
Yeah.
know what I was doing
Mm-hmm.
when it came to money. And my husband and I had just made a ton of mistakes. And mistakes are how you learn. But
Right.
as we were kind of picking ourselves up out of that financial mess
Mm-hmm.
that we made, we were just like, we want something different for our kids. And
Yeah.
so this was born really out of me doing this for my own kids and then
Wow.
sharing it a little bit online, and people just, I mean, there's a need for it.
There is. Yeah.
So families just started responding to the messaging, like the messages I was putting out really, really well.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody kind of agrees that this is something that's so important. And so then it kind of became what it is today, where it's, I was able to make Camp Cash. We could talk about that, but like,
Yeah.
there's a lot of cool projects in the works, and
Mm-hmm.
it's a very exciting mission now.
That's great. So you said something there that I kind of want to touch on, because we really believe at Next Era about learning from failure and learning from mistakes and growing through that. So is that, if you could talk a little bit more about your experience from growing from failure, and then do you have anything in your curriculum that kind of teaches kids how to learn from that?
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Just our own failure. I mean, we ended up very deeply in consumer debt.
Hmm.
Didn't, didn't know how to manage I say like the nuts and bolts of finances,
Hmm. Hmm.
budgeting and things like that, but also like the soft skills of financial literacy,
Right.
which is like self-regulation
Hmm.
and emotional regulation when it comes to spending and all sorts of.
Right.
And so we had to dig ourselves out of a very hefty sum of consumer debt.
Mm.
And so now in the literacy that I teach with all of my programs and everything that I do, there is a section where it's always like, okay, let's reflect back on what we've learned. Let's reflect back on
Mm.
any mistakes. What would you do differently this time? So one
Great.
I think of in specific is like in our earning section. It's helping kids learn how to earn. And so it's like
Mhm.
little entrepreneurial skills.
Oh, I
And
love that.
of that lesson, there's a part that's like, okay, what would you do differently next time? What worked,
Hmm.
work?
Hmm.
Because that's just the foundation of everything is learning and from your mistakes and kind of,
Right.
and yeah, so it's super, super important.
That's great. I love that. And then just kind of a follow-up question to everything you said there. What inspires you to teach financial literacy to kids?
I think just the idea that if our if our society as a whole is thriving, if kids are thriving, um,
Hmm.
they enter into the workforce and into adulthood with a really stable foundation, it's going to
Yeah.
be fun. And
Hmm.
I don't want to see anybody, especially children, grow to make the same mistakes I've made or worse. I want to see,
Yeah.
especially my kids, but all kids, kind of, I want my ceiling to be their floor,
Oh, I
I
love that.
go. And so, yeah, it's very rewarding work.
That's great. That's awesome. And then you already mentioned it a little bit already, but could you go a little bit deeper into your Camp Cash program and how it works?
Yeah, so Camp Cash I created out of this. idea that like I wanted to make financial literacy fun. I wanted to make
Hmm.
and something that parents can kind of like partner with their kids on. And so Camp Cash is a 7 week, I say it's like a financial literacy video game, but it's more than that. It's gamified lessons. So each section there's like you go through this virtual Camp Cash where you start
That's fun.
the earning expedition, and then you move to the spending summit and all of these different like checkpoints in Camp Cash, and you learn different things in each section. So
That's
um
great.
so there's a fun little game, there's a small like quiz, and then there's at-home activities that parents can partner with their kids on as well. um
That's great.
so it's not just like plop you in front of a screen and here you go.
Hmm.
A little bit of it's a mix of everything where it doesn't feel like parents need to like shoulder the heavy burden of it, but also
Yeah.
that there's that kind of give and take in real world application.
Oh, wow, I love that. And I love that the parents can learn alongside their kids because if they're lacking in that financial literacy, that is amazing. That's really good. And then we kind of touched on this already, but if you want to go a little bit deeper into your career background and how you kind of fell into financial literacy as a subject.
Yeah, so I started in banking. I was like a lender for
Okay. Hmm.
years. And then I've always been curious about finance, I think because I was so bad at it. So I started to learn on my own, and then
Mm.
started working as a financial counselor for like a health clinic
Oh,
that,
great.
yeah, folks with no insurance. And so I was helping people budget for their medications and for
Mm.
daily living and things like that. And then I had my boys, and so I kind of stepped out of the workforce for a little while
Right,
and
right.
back to insurance. So like life insurance, all of the world of insurance. So
Yeah.
which is another really important piece of the financial puzzle that often doesn't get talked about. Um,
Hmm. Hmm.
and then I also have my real estate license because I like being busy. So
That's
yeah.
great. Good for you.
And then
Um, so then do you have any parts of Camp Cash that cover insurance?
I not in that as much as I will
Yeah.
in
Yeah.
the Camp Cash is primarily focused on elementary age kids. So I
Yeah.
6 to 11.
Okay. Hmm.
And then I am in the process of building out the curriculum for my middle school program,
Wonderful.
which will include insurance and kind of like risk and
Oh,
managing. And
great.
as far as insurance, when it comes to like Camp Cash and elementary age, we kind of briefly talk about, managing risk a little bit, but
Hmm.
that's more of a middle school, high school kind of
Right, right.
magnitude.
That's great. I love that. So when will you be finishing building it out? Is that like next year or?
2026 is when I
Okay.
want to have the middle school program built out. So I'm building it all me on my own.
Hmm.
So it
That's
does take
great.
some time because obviously
Yeah.
3 kids and life and
Yeah.
everything. So I'm
Yeah,
working
right.
that out on my own. So yeah, I'm hoping and planning to have that out this year.
That's great. That's wonderful. So then, just to go a little deeper, what are your tips and tricks to teaching financial literacy?
Yeah. So I have found, and working with families, I've found this to be true, that anywhere that you can make things fun, obviously
Hmm.
going to stick. But then also, I think making the way that they're learning as close to real life as it's going to be when
Mm,
step out into the real world.
yeah.
Um, so for my kids, like we do a weekly money date where we sit down and they get paid their allowance and we budget it out. And the
Oh,
reason
wow.
we do that is because I want them to get in the habit of looking at their finances
Hmm. Hmm.
weekly and planning for where their money is going to go.
Hmm.
Um, and then, we help them like we budget and plan for like little mock expenses. So they learn how to look at a calendar and see, okay, these are my expenses coming up. This is
Hmm.
how I'm going to plan for it depending on my paydays. So it's a low stress
Wow.
way to learn how to do these skills that
Hmm.
you're going to have to do anyway.
Yeah.
Um, and you can do it in a fun environment and an easy environment where they kind of build those positive associations now, and
Hmm. Hmm.
but then also build the skills. So those are
Wow.
the ways that I like to do it.
Hmm. So then do you have, this is kind of a sidebar, but just something I've been thinking about because the holidays involve so much spending and gift giving, is that something you incorporate as well in teaching your kids?
So typically when there's birthdays or holidays, because a lot of times they will get money for their birthdays or holidays, or
Hmm.
I am planning and budgeting for these types of things. I
Hmm.
will bring them in on that as much as I can. Obviously, I'm not going to
Oh,
full like budget with
yeah.
Christmas gifts, but
Yeah.
I explain, this is how much we have for each person, and I'm making sure I stay within this budget. And then we also do this fun thing every year where we take them to the dollar store for Christmas and we let them pick out gifts for each other, and they have a budget, um
Oh, that's great.
$12 each, and it's just fun because they get to give a gift. It's
Hmm.
low cost for us, and
Hmm.
it gives them that practice, and it's fun to give gifts, so
That's
they get
right.
to be involved.
Wow, that's great. I'm just making a few notes here. Yeah, that's really awesome. Plus, it's interactive too. So that's how I think a lot of kids learn by actually doing it. It's not like the textbook and everything like that is really helpful, but then being able to learn that textbook knowledge and then apply it to real world practices, that is really good.
Yeah.
Wow. You're doing a great thing. That's amazing.
Thanks. It's very rewarding. I really enjoy.
Mm, that's great. And then we kind of touched on this already too, but families need financial literacy more now than ever. So how can families start learning today? And parents and kids.
Yeah. So, obviously any of the resources that I have tons of videos and free resources, and
Mhm.
even just like I like responding to DMs. So,
Mhm. Yeah.
because I really just don't want anybody to struggle the way that we did in 10th
Mm,
wheel and figure it out themselves. The other thing when I was kind of really struggling was library books. I read everything I could get my hands on when it came to
mhm.
financial literacy.
Yeah.
Um, there's a lot of really good financial podcasts out there um,
Mhm.
that I recommend. I have a list of some of my favorite books on my um, profile. So there's just a lot of ways to learn, and I think the biggest thing, if I could even go back to tell myself like the best tips and tools, is to just it's okay to make a mistake. It's okay. Like there's no shame in struggling. Um,
Yeah.
and I think once that shame is gone, then you really can face it head on and
Mm,
and so yeah, that's
that's great. That's so good. Well, and I think too, there is a lot of, I don't want to like put down our society, but I feel like there is a lot of shame when you make spending mistakes or anything like that. There's major shame. So I think that is really helpful, especially I like what you said earlier about teaching your sons how to, I don't know the word that you use, positive reinforcement, maybe was the word, to learn it at a low stress level. I really like that. That is so helpful. And it'll carry over into adulthood, which is I mean, you're starting them out with such excellent skills that it's life skills that they need. That's great.
survival skills.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. So then if people want to look up the financial resources and the free resources that you have, where should they look for that?
Best place is Instagram. So my handle at Samantha Bird Shiloh is my Instagram. And then you just click on my link, and I've got like a video that goes into how we do our money dates each week. That's just like a free kind of walkthrough of how we do that. I have a total like big budgeting guide to start budgeting with your kids. That's completely free. It also has tools for parents of younger kids. So if you want,
Great.
like even like toddler age, you want to start introducing some kind of like play, fun, money skills.
That's great.
And then that also has my kids' money workbook. So that is like our actual workbook that we use each week for, budgeting and things like that. and then Camp Cash is listed in there as well. So
Great, great. And if you don't mind me asking, is there like a subscription to get into Camp Cash, or is it free, or how does that work?
it's a one-time purchase.
Okay, okay,
That I've made it so that you can use it for all of your kids. So
great.
time, because again, like I financial literacy, I want products to be accessible for families. So,
Hmm.
it's one purchase and you can use it for your whole all of your kids.
Great. And do you think it could even extend past, you said it stops at 11 years old. Do you think it could even extend past that age or?
Yeah, I have a couple kids who are like 12, 13.
Mhm.
I the lessons you learn are timeless, obviously.
Right.
So it really just depends on your specific child. I
Mm.
think some of the graphics and things are geared more towards younger
Yeah.
kids,
Yeah,
but
for
I
sure.
think you're working with, if you're a parent and you've got multiple age groups, you can
Mm.
apply the same lessons and still do the one-on-one things, even with older children. Um,
Mm.
and still,
That's great.
yeah.
That's great. And then, since our society is sort of taking a turn towards cashless methods and more focus on credit and debit cards and apps, do you have ways for your kids to adapt to that or still use cash, or how does that look for your
Yeah,
family?
right now my kids use cash
Mhm.
because I like the tangible. Uh,
Yeah.
the boys went to like Montessori school, so I'm like
Oh,
really
yeah.
super tangible learning as much
Yep.
as possible.
Yep.
And so we do cash right now,
Mhm.
but my oldest just turned 11 and we are getting him his first debit card this year. Um,
Okay.
so with that, the transition then becomes tracking your spending on an account tracker, a tracking
Hmm.
tab, which I have included in all of my resources as well, so that parents
Yeah.
can manage both. Um,
That's great.
yeah, whatever they are more comfortable with or want to start with. But then, yeah, it's tracking in that way. It's, keeping an eye on your accounts. It's everything that comes with the cashless society. It's just I prefer to start with cash when my kids are younger.
Yeah.
Uh, so it's physical.
Yeah, yeah, and what they often give kids play money. That's something I used a lot as a kid. So, it's that interactive
Yeah.
feeling. So do your kids still go? I'm just curious, this is kind of a sidebar. Do they still go to a Montessori school or how does that?
They don't anymore. We
Okay.
moved. So
Yeah,
they Montessori school just for like elementary
great.
year or not elementary, preschool and like first grade. Now they're in our schools here, but
Okay, great. That's awesome. Yeah, Montessori schools, I've just been doing some research for work for it. It's very interesting.
uh,
Very, very neat.
a lot of really cool benefits. Um,
Hmm.
I think there's pros and cons to all sorts of learning styles, but I'm
Yeah,
glad I got some of that
that's
type of.
great. That's really great. And then, how can you be a resource for homeschooling families if they want to teach financial literacy to their kids? How does that work for you?
Yeah, so I actually work with a lot of homeschooling families
Great.
because this is just like right up a homeschooling parent's alley. They
Mm-hmm.
very invested in the
Mm-hmm.
education of their children. So I
Yeah.
I talk with a lot of homeschooling families. I would say our money dates are really, really great for homeschooling families because it's like a weekly rhythm.
Yep.
I have, like I said, the kids' money workbook that kind of walks them through budgeting step by step and week by week.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and then obviously if Camp Cash is something that is beneficial to the family to kind of jumpstart if they want like a foundation of financial education before
Mm-hmm.
they start with these weekly habits.
Yeah.
I would recommend that. But then of course, like my DMs are always open. I'm always a support.
That's great. That's really good. And then, do you have any recommendations for high school students if they're looking for a financial literacy program or books or podcasts or whatever?
Yeah, so Con Financial Literacy, they have a program that I really, really like.
Great.
Um, Completely free.
Great.
And that I highly recommend.
Mm-hmm.
Um, that was the first one that came to mind for high school students because
Yeah.
it's specifically designed for high school
Mm-hmm. That's
free.
great.
You have a better resource than that.
That's great. That's awesome. Yeah, I know I used I did financial literacy and I think my junior and senior year of high school, and we used Dave Ramsey has a program that I used, and that it's funny. I still think about that to this day because he really emphasized having an emergency fund for $500.
Yep.
That works so well because you always have that to fall back on in case something goes wrong.
Yep.
That really helped me understand the importance of saving and looking like long term, like what's it going to be like in the future? How do I need to plan? So I really value what you're doing because I know it's important because I've learned it and it's
Yeah.
vital.
It is.
Especially too, I think in our day and age, everything is so expensive. It's costly. If your kids want to go to college, that's a whole nother subject that I think a lot of parents struggle with because your kids automatically go into debt and then
Right.
that's stressful. And yeah, and I like how you're trying to relieve stress for families because it is really a stressful thing if you don't have skills and abilities and to know what you're doing.
Right. And it's scary and hard, I think, for parents to, because a lot of us, we didn't learn. And so
Hmm.
trying to teach something that we don't really feel like we fully have a grasp on. And so it can
Right.
be really scary. It can be isolating, especially with something that is so important like financial health. Like it's not,
Hmm.
it's crucial. So
Yeah.
yeah, I do get that.
Yeah. Well, at next era, I don't remember if I told you this or not, we focus on four pillars. So it's education, communication, health, and finances.
Okay.
So, as you're talking, I'm thinking like the financial literacy impacts our health because if we learn it, it relieves stress, it
Mhm.
gives us a better mindset, clarity. Yeah, I really like what you're doing. So I guess, is there any other recommendations that you would have for parents if they want to learn on their own? I mean, obviously they can do the Camp Cash with their
Sure.
kids, but do you have any like specific things that you recommend they check out?
Yeah, I really like the book I Will Teach You to Be Rich by
Mm,
Clement Sethi.
yeah,
I don't know if I'm pronouncing that correctly. I
yeah.
like his book because it's very um it's just really he breaks everything down really, really small. And so it's these
Hmm.
tangible steps. Uh
Hmm.
his book is excellent. And I think he's got like programs and stuff as well. I
Hmm.
haven't looked at any of them. I'm more of a book person, so I
Yeah.
usually like recommend books.
Hmm. Hmm.
A Simple Path to Wealth was really helpful. That focuses a lot on investing
Oh,
and
that's
it kind of
great.
some of the fear and
Hmm.
the everything's got so much jargon around it, and it just
Yeah.
really simplifies it and makes it easy to grasp and understand. Those are two of my favorites. Um,
Hmm.
I'm
That's
always
great.
leaning towards simple because simple you can understand.
Hmm. Hmm.
Both are just really, really simple, and I really like them.
That's great. And then you said something there about investing. Do you have tips or tricks for people who are looking into investing? That's something I'm looking into right now, and I have no idea where to start. So
Yeah,
it's daunting.
it is really daunting. And so I'm not a financial advisor, so I always say that
Right, right.
I always recommend and this is where this comes from, and I Will Teach You to Be Rich. He has like a whole system to
Mm,
help somebody get started with investing without using a financial advisor. And
mhm.
I highly, highly recommend
That's great.
how he does it. Or if you're not gonna, if that's a little daunting, then
Hmm.
getting a financial advisor is a
Yep.
great way to just have somebody who knows what they're doing as a professional can help kind of
Right.
setting up your retirement and making sure you're putting enough money aside. But the sooner the better is
Yep. Yep.
and I'm even like thinking when as my kids are getting older, I'm like starting to put more money for them,
Mm-hmm.
custodial accounts and everything. So
Yeah.
yeah,
That's great. Yeah, my grandpa did that for me when I was still in school, and that was so helpful because when I graduated, he was just like, here's this money for college." And I was like, "Whoa, was not expecting that." And
that's
that really has me thinking about investing for my future and just, yeah, preparing for whatever lies ahead. Yeah, yeah.
yeah, so helpful.
It is. And then you touched on this already a little bit, but why is your work so rewarding?
I get to hear from families all over the world who
Mm,
are telling me that their kids are learning these skills,
mm,
skills that I didn't learn until my late 20s, and they are
mhm.
kids are. I got one just a couple of weeks ago. It was a family, I think in the UK, and they were doing
Okay.
a lemonade stand, and their two boys were like, selling biscuits and selling
Oh,
lemonade out on their street. And it was really cool
oh,
because they then were talking about like what they were going to use their money for. And
oh,
it's
that's
really
great.
rewarding because I know
That
that
is.
they're learning is self-sufficiency. They're learning
Mm-hmm.
skills that they will be able to use to take care
Mm-hmm.
of themselves and take care of the people they love.
Yeah.
And that gives me goosebumps. Like that, I can't think of a
Mm-hmm.
um, better work than to help people
Yeah.
these skills.
Right. And I think too, one of the things we focus on at Next Era is life skills, building skills that will carry over into adulthood, will prepare you for the real world. So I love that you said that about self-sufficiency because that's what we need. I think that really prepares kids. And, financial literacy, it focuses on finances, but I personally think it's so much more because it's preparing kids for adulthood. You're learning boundaries with yourself on spending, which can carry over into like patience, all sorts of different things, building character traits. So is that something you see within your own kids that they're building character traits and things like that because of studying this?
Yeah, so yes, like self-control and
Mm-hmm.
confidence even.
Mm-hmm.
It takes some confidence to create
Mm-hmm.
a product and to sell it and to
Mm-hmm.
think that you have value in yourself enough to provide
Yeah.
value to people. That is huge for growing children's self-esteem and anybody really. Um, and yeah, learning how to manage your own emotions because there's
Mm-hmm.
like you see a kid get excited at the store about something
Mm-hmm.
or their brain is like operating on that full I
Yep.
call it the lizard brain where it's just they just want this. And so to
Uh-huh.
help them to learn how to take a step back from that lizard brain, calm
Mm-hmm.
down, and then let's look at this objectively.
Mm-hmm.
That's a
Yeah.
skill that you use anytime with any circumstance. Like it's really such an
Yeah.
skill. So there's so much more to it than just
Yeah. That's great. Excuse me.
you're fine.
And then you said something there about oh, you said something that I wanted to. Oh, in your cash camp, do you have kids focusing on like building a product and things like that?
Yeah, so we have the earning expedition is where everything starts. So that is where they're learning about different types of earning. So I always talk about how there's different ways people can earn money through jobs and through creating a business. And then I talk
Mm,
about the different types of businesses. So there's service-based, product-based, and knowledge-based business. And we kind of go into each one of those. And again, I really simplify these big broad categories and we make them really kind of simple for young minds and we walk through helping them start a business if they want to. How do you market it? How do you like what skills do you have and how could they be of value to other people? And so the I always say
wow.
in order to spend money or use money, you have to earn it. So earning is always the starting point for our programs.
Wow, that's great. And then I like what you said there about starting a business. So do you have like maybe you covered this a little bit, but like an entrepreneurship category or something like that within Cash Camp?
Yeah, yeah. So that is that's the beginning portion of it. They earn little badges throughout the program. So
Oh, that's great.
badge for the earning expedition is like entrepreneur extraordinaire or something. Um,
Mm,
and that's where they get their entrepreneurship badge and they start a business like with their parents. They kind of
wow.
yeah, so they use their little Money Ranger field guide and they walk through the book to create their own little business.
That's so much fun. I love that. So then once they complete the course, do they get like if they have a certain amount of badges, do they get like a prize or how does that work?
They're officially a money ranger, and so then they get their money ranger certificate at the end. So
Oh, that's so fun.
a fun little thing.
That is really fun. And then how did you design this like is it an app or a website or
All online. It's a website, so
okay.
it's a digital program.
Mm,
So unfortunately, not an app yet. I'm still trying to figure that out. And
yeah, yeah,
oh, if
sure.
any developers, let me know.
Okay, yeah, that's great.
Yeah, just online. I do know some families can access it on their phone. I like to do it when my boys were going through it in
Yeah.
computer just because it's a bigger screen, it's easier. But yeah, you can
Mhm.
use phone as well.
That's great. That's so helpful. And then where can people, you said Instagram and then the Cash Camp, or I'm sorry, Camp Cash website. Do you have anywhere else where people should look for your resources like YouTube or anything like that, or you mainly just Instagram?
Yeah, so I am on YouTube. I'm still kind of growing that longer
Hmm.
form
Hmm.
content on YouTube, so that's
Yeah.
not a whole lot on there yet, but I will
Hmm.
be.
Hmm.
Um, so keep an eye out for that.
Hmm.
And then yeah, mycampcash.com is where they can find
Okay,
Camp Cash. And then obviously my Instagram has my links to everything.
that's
Um,
great.
yeah.
That's awesome. And then just to kind of wrap up a little bit, how can we promote what you do?
Yeah. I mean, just word of mouth is amazing.
Hmm.
People know the resources that I have available, the free resources. I love working with homeschool families because
Mm-hmm.
I mean everybody is just so invested in their kids' education, and so it's really rewarding. Um,
Hmm.
so yeah, word of mouth, sharing that these resources are available, and yeah, anything that I can do to help other families learn, I'm game for.
That's great. And then before we go, is there anything else you wanted to share, highlight on? I don't want to rush you.
No, no, I'm really thankful for the opportunity, and yeah,
Yeah.
it's wonderful to talk to. I love the four pillars, like you
Oh,
said,
thank you.
health really does seep into every other
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
life.
Yeah,
So
that's right.
really great work what you guys are doing, and
Thank
I'm
you so much.
part of
Thank
it.
you. And then what we do normally after we finish the interview is I will do a written resource and
Okay.
then a blog post. And then I would include like your Instagram handle, the cash or the Camp Cash link, everything like that. And then I'll upload on YouTube and Spotify. That'll be probably in the next 2 to 3, 4 weeks, somewhere in there. And then, yeah, that's kind of the drill, but we try and highlight you as much as possible so we can get the word out. And then we'll probably put some snippets on social media as well.
I'll share those on social media as well.
Great.
I do have some homeschool families within my community, so I'll make sure they know about you guys as well. Um,
Great. Thank you.
and yeah, just let me know if there's anything you need from me as you're
Sure.
together.
Sure. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. This was great.
Oh yeah, it was so great. Thanks, Beth.
All right. Have a Merry Christmas and Happy New Year.
Thanks, you
Thank
too.
you. Bye bye.